building was built specifically to house the New Orleans Saints. And it is designed to sit down 76,400 plus people.
Here, piggy, 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 piggy. This is where we're getting ready to do our airboat. And there's a mama pig and a baby. And there's the airboat.
Years in captivity. Yep, they can live a long time. Now, when they're actually born, they're 5 to 7 inches in length, and they can grow up to a foot a year for the first 6 years. After that, slows down to 2 to 3 inches a year that they'll actually grow. So it does take them a long time to get this size here. Now, basically, what they'll do is they will bury themselves in the mud and under the water, and they have a 3-chambered heart. Shut down 2 chambers. One controls their breathing. The other controls their heart rate. Slows their heart rate down to 1 beat per minute. Only have a pump of air once every 24 hours. Wow. And they'll do that roughly about 3 months. Now, hour in the water.
Wow.
On dry land, they can run up to 25 miles per hour.
Yep.
But for only a short distance. Look at this. He wants this. Come on. Now, the only way to outrun an alligator is to trip your friend next to you and keep running. You don't never have to be the fastest, just don't be the slowest. Come on. You got this? You got this? All right, come on.
Oh, remember that time when he was
Hey, look at that. He's almost up to the boat.
that time.
Yeah, hi.
Go!
Yeah, well, I'm not real interested in getting that close. I'm gonna dive padding something I'm not supposed to, so I'll probably dive for you. You'll be the one that'll jump out there and be the bait.
Come on.
Hi.
Come on. Keep going. Keep going. Good job. All right, get your foot off. Yeah, y'all didn't flinch.
I'm gonna dive padding something I'm not supposed to.
Grabbing and running.
Long or thereabouts.
That's where they're at. They're up in that tall grass up in there. That rain, when they're that small, they get cold really quick, but they also get hot really quick. So,
See?
I think they're too cold right now, and that's why they hide in that grass, because of all the rain. Now, once the rain settles off completely, they'll start coming out. They'll start looking for food, because I mean, up in here they got little bitty fish, and that's what they eat on. So they their eggs, and when it gets cold, they die.
Wow.
I hope it gets colder in the next instant.
Huh?
I said, I hope it gets cold in the next instant.
Oh my God, they're all over the screen.
Look at them.
Oh, they're all over that log, yeah.
Stop being nice.
There's one right
Ain't
in
nothing
there.
wrong with
You
these
gotta
things.
love nature, or nature's gonna come and get you.
That's right.
This is the first of the plantation tours that we're taking. This is the Laura plantation.
The river used to be right there. They've built it up so that the river doesn't overflow. But then the wind from the river would blow into the main windows and doors of the house to cool off the house.
You can also see again the name the area had back when it was an
That is the sign stating the start of our GPS audio tour through the garden district. So this is the Lafayette #1 cemetery. Because of the water table here, they bury their dead above ground so they don't float back to the surface. And they use these tombs that get so hot inside they basically become natural crematoriums. So this house belongs to Colonel Short. They said that his wife requested this cornstalk fence because she missed her native home of Iowa. Another theory is that she ordered it because it was the most expensive fence in the catalog, and this wrought iron fences was a very big show of wealth in early New Orleans history. At this point, it appears that it's being renovated. So this is the Staub house on our tour, and this is one of the few houses in this neighborhood that was staffed by Irish immigrants, not by slaves. This is the next house on the Garden District tour that is not under construction. The other one was under construction and all boarded up, so there was not really anything to see. Can't see it very well, but this house is called Toby's Corner. It's the oldest still standing residence in New Orleans. Not much to see with all the trees and foliage growing up around it. And this one is what they call the Bradish Johnson house. Now it belongs to a school for girls, a private school. So this is the former home of Archie Manning, the Hall of Fame quarterback for the New Orleans Saints back in the day. And this is where Peyton, Eli, and Cooper Manning grew up. It says that they were often seen out walking around in the neighborhood. As you can tell now, it is being remodeled. So this is the Buckner Mansion, which is a private residence now, but this back side of it here with this long extension was the slave quarters back in the day. But it's huge. They said it was 20,000 square feet. Covers this, basically this whole block. It's really long, really big. So this is the front of the Buckner Mansion. The biggest house in the Garden District section of New Orleans. All of these old houses here in the Garden District were for people of money, and they say that this wrought iron work that you see around the decks and stuff and the fences was a sign of having lots of money. This is the next house on the tour. Again, you can tell that it is under renovations. This is the next one on the Garden District tour. We're listening to a little GPS guided thing where we get a little bit of details about them. These are bald cypress trees. They have no bark on them whatsoever. This house is currently owned by the actor John Goodman. This is the next house on the tour in the Garden District. This one is got the most remaining outbuildings back there. You can kind of see one's been turned into a garage back there, but they said one was a small unattached house where wealthy boys went when they became teenagers and lived in that, and then the other one back there was slave quarters. This is the Robinson Mansion. It is sitting on one of the largest lots in the Garden District. They said it was almost 12,000 square feet. One of the biggest mansions, and as you can tell, it's also got the wrought iron work, as most of these homes do, because in the olden days, late 1800s, the Garden District was, and still is to some extent, the district of money. You had to have money to live here. This house is owned by Sandra Bullock. It was once owned by a senator, but Sandra Bullock bought it because one of her adopted children grew up in New Orleans. It was born here. So she bought it so he could keep somewhat connected to where he was born. This is Commander's Palace. It is one of the fancy restaurants in New Orleans. It is Creole food and is considered one of the best Creole restaurants in New Orleans. As you can see, as we walk along here, the roots of these oak trees wreak havoc upon the sidewalks. So when you're walking along here, you always have to be watching where you're going to make sure you don't trip and fall over the very uneven walkways.